Hi everyone, welcome to the New Indian Express Teams. Today we have with us is Jashan BJ, the CEO and Managing Director of Envitest Lab. Hi Jashan, welcome to the New Indian Express Teams. What was the vision behind Envitest Lab, and how did you found it? What was your idea or inspiration? Can you share with us?
Yeah, sure. See, this story started way back in 2012 when we casually on a coffee table decided that why we should not do a company. But at that time, I started my career as a test engineer since 2003, and I was only doing testing, and I did not know any other fields per se. So in 2012, a casual discussion among the group of friends having a lunch in the office table started this, and that triggered me. Yes, why can't we do that? And the planning, everything started, but none of them were very eager to start a company because for their own reasons. There are many people who are like that. But my wife constantly supported me. She was also working, so luckily I had another income for per se. And it all began that okay, well, why not? So we conceptualized, started thinking what to do, what not to do. Then there were a lot of other factors which started influencing us, and then it was a day we decided, okay, let us start. And in 2017, somewhere in February, March, it was March basically, we thought that, okay, let me start this. And we started planning for that. We registered a company in 2017 and started the operation. So with a vision for environmental testing. So Envitest stands for environmental testing.
Okay.
And when we started, we had a very limited dream, to be very honest. Our vision was we become a kind of pioneer in environmental testing.
Okay.
By 2021, where we spread our wings to other domains like telecom, electrical, electronic testing, product testings, safety, product safety, many things. We ventured into multiple domains.
Okay. So, what are like the main industries you guys concentrate?
Well, see, in every meeting or any presentation, I start with the statement saying that any person or any company which makes electronic products are our customers.
Okay.
Okay, because any electronic products in today's date is a very essential thing. So back in, if you see, when I bought my first car, it was just a mechanical car. It has analog devices and just mechanical. If I could able to start the car, I can drive it anywhere. But today, the car what I own, it's completely electronic. So there is a transformation happening in last 15-20 years, especially the electronic transformation is mindful. See, now everything is working on the data.
Okay.
Analytics and no trial and error. See, we have a very accurate data, and electronics are backbone for that. They have to process them, quantify them, signify them, and they should never fail, right? So they need a rigorous testing. So any electronic products across the domain, whether it can be a military, automotive, locomotive, telecom, IT, industries, consumer industries, everything, the medical devices these days, especially, they're all our domains which we serve.
Okay. So you're saying you guys do a lot of industries, at the same time. So how is it possible to pull off such a huge task? And what is the size of the Envitas laboratories? Because I haven't been there, so I would love to come and watch you guys do, and also share some insights of what exactly goes inside the lab, and how do you guys do for the defense, because that's something very interesting topic, and viewers will like to know.
Yeah, see, interestingly, see, even though when we call it as an electronic product testing, that's why in the previous question also I said that it's a electronic products across the domain. So I test the electronic product. For me, the domain specifics are the industries what government prefers to call them, probably, right? So what happens is any electronic products has their own set of test methods internationally published, and we go as per that. And usually what happens, 60-70% of the tests are backed with the machines which we have already installed in the lab. So say if I have a vibration test machine which can test any product. The basic function of that is to shake, like a car. The car's basic functionality is to take a person from point A to point B. Similarly, whether you are sitting, your family is sitting, or your friends are sitting, it does the same job, right? So same thing with the testing machines. So vibration machine, whatever product I load, it runs. So the key factor here is that we make ejection fixturings suitable to that. So if it is going to fit in an aircraft at somewhere in the top roof and all those things, we have suitable jigs and fixtures. It has to be powered with certain powers, like say it has to work in 400 hertz AC power, whereas our regular power is 50 hertz in India, right? We have those mechanisms, and that's how the product gets complemented and gets it tested. And that answers the question that we go across the domain.
One more thing, you guys are in the industry for close to 22 years, if I'm not wrong.
Well, Envitest started in 2017, but I started my career as a test engineer since 2003. So yes.
So it's almost close to 22 years of experience which you have. So when it comes to Envitest Lab, so are you guys planning to venture out of Bangalore, and any ideas of making the infrastructure more bigger so you guys can come and take more stuff here in Chennai?
Yes, we have already started in Chennai. We have connected with a institution called KCT in Coimbatore also. They have given us a provision to set up a lab in Coimbatore. We have already independently started in Chennai, even though we started this only December 2024, but our operations are yet to begin. And yes, definitely we have a lot of vision to flex ourselves to the city. And I always used to tell to my team that Chennai is one place, because I started my career in Chennai and I'm still proud of that. And I was always thinking that we should start in Chennai since a very early time, but somehow the time did not happen. But in December 2024, we started.
How do you see your competition? Because it's a very competitive market when it comes to testing and in this kind of an industry. How is Envitest different from the other brands, like we say?
Testing is a competitive field, but the thing is, like, yes, we definitely have a competition from the excellers. Like most of the labs in India are from Germans, and there are a couple of US labs also, and they pioneer in this. Okay, we are definitely competing with them. The second thing which drives is the technology behind that. Okay, so we are technically capable to handle the situations, to understand the nitty-gritties, because the testing is one field where the product designers always, it's their own babies. They know how to they feel that everything is perfect for them, but we as a testers become, say, outsiders for that product, and we look into a totally different perspective. And to have that, we should be very technically significant to assess that, because our opinions matter. Our interpretations, our opinions to the perspective of the product decides or depends on the product launch or product to the market, right? So if I do a wrong testing and give a kind of a perspective that it's not working, or give a kind of a sadistic comment, that doesn't work, and all the efforts of the designers went off. So we have competed, we have made ourselves so compatible, competitive, and to make ourselves more up to the date market, that really makes us totally different, and we keep on constantly upgrading ourselves. See, in last again I said, in last 20 years the electronics completely changed. If you see, if I had to transfer money when I started my career in 2003, I had to go to the bank and do that. Today, nothing. I have my bank in my pocket. I can just transfer it to a small vendor for even 2 rupees. That's the kind of changes, and that's all because of the electronics. And we should be also capable enough to understand the compatibilities and upgrade ourselves, and which we are doing it very well.
One more thing I would like to note is we keep seeing a lot of Make in India products. So can you say how many Make in India products, like indigenous products, which we have in our country, has been done with the Envitest lab?
Yeah, see, 70 to 80% of the products what I test are Make in India products only. I'm very
Okay,
proud to say that also.
that's great. Yeah.
And I have a totally different kind of perception on this. See, even today, India is means Indian testings have not been welcomed in the West, to be very honest, because they feel that they are superior and we don't do the testing and all. But that's not the case. We are also catching up with them. That is one. Testing is one industry really coming up very strong, but there is a lot of scope in that. But the Make in India, when it got introduced, that also gave us the confidence to set up our Envitest also, because unless we don't have a product, in my earlier days, most of the products which I used to test is developed or designed by the Westerners, and they were testing it because there were some in-house regulations, so the market itself was very limited. But now the Make in India coming up, every government has done a lot of things. They introduced BAS scheme in 2013. They introduced TEC scheme in 2016-17 somewhere. So a lot of emphasis is pushed from the government side also, and they are also trying to see that the Make in India and the testing, everything is compatible in India. And today we test a lot more products in India, Indian products which are manufactured, designed, conceptualized, everything in India.
When you spoke about how the testing is different from India and the West, uh, what exactly goes around? Like, why is it so different from the West and us? What are like the procedures they do, and how do we get to those Western standard of testing?
Again, see, I said that Westerns don't believe our testing, but there is no difference because see, I also follow international method. Most of the testings what we do are as per the international method. Government has adapted, harmonized the international methods to Indian domains also, and we don't do anything different. We are on par with the West. What they are doing, we also do it in house. How they are testing, some of the machines we use there, what they are using in their labs also. Some of them I have to import because there is no technology in India yet. Right. So yes, we are catching up on par. And only thing is that they say that okay, we have done, we are superior, we have tested it more accurately and all. Yes, in India also we are doing that. It is not that the documentation levels we are catching up again. They have a very superior documentation level, but our in India the documentation levels are not that level there. But slowly it is getting up. Now, if you see any BIS review or TEC review, they have all the documentations, BOMs, BAS, product informations, everything lodged, so that the product, if suppose has to be given to the market, and if there is any concerns coming up, they can definitely track and identify where the root cause lied. Right. Same if you, in defense also, or in recent aircraft crashes and all, the kind of documentation they have verified, it is fantastic. India is catching up with that.
Okay, that sounds very great. One more thing I'm curious, this is for the students out there. So it has taken you such a long time to come to the place where you are right now. So what do you advise the future generation, the young aspirants who is into the engineering industry, and how they can come into this particular field of testing and the more stuff you guys are into? Any insights?
Yeah. See, in today's present situation, the engineering is divided into two parts: core engineering and software engineering. Right. So now, for some reason, most of the students prefer to be a part of the software engineering. Again, that is linked to the hardware. What I was saying, whatever they develop, they need a hardware to execute them. So if even they write the code on the computer, which is a hardware and something that needs to be tested. So the people who wants to pick up the core engineering, that's a slow process. Basically, here the challenge is they have to get into a three-part journey. One, understanding the hardware per se, because what is there inside, how the technology is changing in the hardware also. Because see, when we started, it were all silicon simple chips. Now it has a much more hybrid silicon chips with ROHS layers and all. So the technology is evolving as per the requirements, and there are a lot of regulations on the EMI, EMC, a lot of regulations on the safety aspects, e-waste probably. So the core engineering skills are very, very essential for anybody to pick up the testing. Then the second thing is they need to understand how the product works. That is the most significant thing. See, if you take any testing in the past, what Britishers, what we call, has found out, the thumb rule or left hand rules or whatsoever, they have done it on a very kind of a common sense basis. There is no like they have written the standards. If you take the standards of 1970s, 60s, they are written based on the kind of what they can achieve from what they have in the resources in the nature. Right. So the testing is one aspect, understanding the product, which is very, very essential. And then third, operating the machines in the manner you have to extract the results. Because again, from the students perspective, they study the whole year, they put their sweat for that, and finally they have to face the examination to get the marks, and that decides their future. Same thing for the testing also, that the product has to be very clearly understood, very clearly executed for the testing. and they have to see that the product, how it works, and that comes only when they come to know the three aspects what I told earlier. And that is really exciting field, but the career growth is very slow in this. I don't say that kind of a software like the day two you can start writing a code in the software, whereas this takes some time. They need some really hard time to understand, but obviously once the career gets kicked in, there are multiple opportunities. You can be a certifier. There are industries who calls for a certifier who gets opportunity to travel worldwide, because they can establish and see that worldwide products. There are domain-specific roles in today's industries, especially in hardware industry, where they have a roles for the reliability engineers. They have roles for certification and homologations. They have roles for the product emphasis, the product to the market, multiple things. So all this, the foundation starts from the testing. Many of the people whom I have worked with the testing, they have become a very successful entrepreneurs, very successful engineers in the respective organizations, just because they knew the backdrop of the product. That is very essential. And yes, obviously it's a very good career, but again, as I said, if you compare to the any core engineering, for any mechanical engineer to become an automobile engineer or in any automotive company, it also takes a good amount of time, unless he gets into a shop floor. If he has to become a designer, he has to do a lot of research, come to the what is the taste, what is the feedback, how the product is being perceived, all those things. So that makes a complete test engineer. And career people who opt to choose this career definitely have a very good perspectives. The roles are very exciting because they will be covering the product development. They are the kind of support pillar for the entire product development team. They can come there, say that this works, this may not work, because they have a testing backgrounds. They can design the testing perspectives. They can design the test methods, write the test standards, codes for testings. That itself is a huge thing. In India, it is usually done through a committee. Internationally also, IEC has a committee. When I was in my previous organization, they had added me to one of the committee where we were reviewing these test methods. So if somebody has to write a test method, that gets reviewed in all 184 countries. So and that goes to expertise, not to a very general thing. So the career is very good, but again, as I said, people have to get adapted, and it comes in the core engineering, not in the software engineering.
How do you distinguish Envitest from others, and how does it correlate with your vision?
Well, Envitest, when we started, we had a very clear idea that we should be a technical, superior technical body, where we emphasize on making the product. That's why we kept the tagline also, empowering products. So we are not designing, we are not conceptualizing the product, but we are empowering. So anybody can make any product per se, but that needs to be sustained. See, making it work is very, very easy. Wright brothers did that. But sustainability, if you see today, people fly fearlessly from Chennai to Bangalore or Chennai to Delhi in airplanes, right? So that's the first phase, and we always want to see that we empower the products for the longer sustainability. That's where the reliability, harshness, everything has been tested. So for this, we are also like a body where we need a lot of accolades and accreditations. So we are a ISO 17025 accreditation body from NABL, which is a national accreditation body for testing and calibration in India. A premier organizations which recognizes us that okay, whatever these people are doing, the testing are valid, and it meets the international standard ISO 17025. That means whatever the testing I'm doing in India, the same kind of testing is done in US or Europe or Australia, and this body, the ISO 17025, quantifies that. And in each country there is a MRS, mutual signatories, who quantifies this. In India it is NABL, and we are one of the members. So in all our test reports we use this NABL symbol, and we also use a ILAC symbol, which says that International Laboratory Cooperation Accreditations, right? So this symbol says that my test report tested in Bangalore can be accepted in anywhere in US, Europe, Australia or whichever country which the product wants to be sold, or wherever the certification takes it. So that's one thing which we totally stand apart. On top of that, we have a recognition from DGAQA, Directorate of Quality Assurance for Aircraft Components, for aircrafts. They do a thorough check that whether what we are doing meets the requirements for their airworthiness certifications and all. And they actually have two parts, so one for the manufacturing, one for the testing house, and we have been successfully having this accreditation since 2019. And then we recently got the telecom engineering center approval also. This is for all the products under the telecom sold in India has to undergo this approval. So if you have bought a router very recently and if you flip that, you see the TEC mark and been at that, right? Earlier it used to be ISI, now it has been replaced with TEC. And that is one of the mandatory requirements in India to sell the product. They issue the licenses and we do a couple of testings for that. We have a very unique testing facility for aircraft electrical characteristics. Only 2 labs in India as on date are capable of doing this. This is where we test all the aircraft electrical components. Say you are flying a Airbus A380 and you have to send an electrical signal from the cockpit to the tail, which is more or less like a kilometer, right? The electrical signals resistance you can see, and here what happens, they culminate the electricity to transfer to such a long distance, and it requires a very precision, and they cannot lay a cable like how they lay in EB electricity board, right? In the aircraft, it adds the weight and all. So in given resources, they do that, and they have that is a very precision testing which we do. We have a proper setup for that. We have a setup for OFC cables and connectors, for electrical cables and connectors, which is very unique per se. See, any product without a connector is of useless. You buy a say in today's date, the EVs are in peak. You buy a EV and you don't buy a connector or a charger. Nothing. It's after a charge is over, it is just a stone. So the connectors plays an important role. If connector breaks also, again, you have to suffer a lot, right? So that is one thing which we uniquely do the testing. We do a lot of corrosion and contamination testing. We do a lot of materials related testing where we test the properties. So I did a vibration test and something shaked and it got deformed. Usually every vibration test we check for the deformations, and if there is a deformation, and if I could not able to find out what deformation is and I have to send it to another lab, that transportation may also cause additional deformation on the product, which so we have in-house. So we are very unique in that perspective. So we have a kind of 360-degree coverage of the testing. Say I just don't do a kind of thermal analysis. I do every part, every component. I take it, we can test it, analyze it, and give the results to the customers. So that's how we are very unique.
Let's talk about the vision. So when you guys started the Envitest, there would have been definitely a vision and a mission. So in 2025, how much of the vision have you guys completed, and what is coming next for Envitest? What can we see more from you guys?
Well, I'm very honestly accept to everyone in today's date that when we named it, we are now we just said that okay, we will be doing environmental testing because see, this is the business which is a very capital sensitive, and we have to have a lot of accreditation to start our business itself. Like I buy a machine, next day I cannot start. I need NABL to come and approve that you can do the testing and issue the report, or otherwise nobody believes my report. Okay, so we thought that okay, because this is a very capital sensitive business, so let us keep small. Let us only run what is our cake, and we named it from that perspective as a environmental testing. But now, if you see in today's date, my environmental testing might be just 40%. We have explored and gone beyond the thing. So when you ask me the question that what is the vision accomplished, so we are already above our target. But now I would say that really gave us the confidence that okay, what we did at that time to what we are doing at this time, we can do much more, and we definitely changed our vision, and we are progressing in a very staged manner. And yes, obviously we have a lot more vision. We want to become a kind of a body where we can. So one thing which I want to add always was the EMI/EMC test. So EMI/EMC is a very capital sensitive facility which demands a lot of resources and finance, and it requires a lot of expertise also. So when I wanted to, I got a couple of opportunities, but I skipped it because when I want to put that, I want to put it the best, because I have worked already in one of the best lab like that, and I want to at least keep that. I just want to don't do a kind of thing, and that is one vision which is always triggering me, which is not fulfilled. Other than that, we want to become a homegrown certification body. That is another vision what we have, and that is one of the biggest challenge, because if you see in India, in all the certification bodies are government, whereas if you see other countries, they have a private certification bodies also. In India, there is a provision, but see again, to become a private certification body, it requires a lot of skills, expertise, domain expertise, and a lot of things. So at least I have a vision that I should become one product certification body. Now we are definitely envisaging that, and we are trying to work on that in a very phased mode, and definitely we will accomplish that. But again, we are going in a very slow pace for that perspective. But otherwise, the visions like say the telecom engineering center testings was suddenly it came up, and we took that challenge, and we could able to sustain that and complete that. And now today we are testing the products as per that. We are one of the ECR testing labs in Bangalore or in India per se. Visions are going on with a very good definition what we concepted. But again, when it comes, if I want to get it linked to my name, I proudly say to everyone that we are already 300% on my vision.
So one more thing, which are the focus industries, Envitest is looking right now, and can you tell us why that particular field industry has been concentrated?
Okay, see, the focus industries for Envitest is, as I said, we serve almost 22 industries, but focus industries, I would first take aircraft and defense, military basically, because that is where Make in India is prospering in India. And there are a lot of investments happening, because India is now in a stage where they are trying to indigenize the complete military system, and that calls for a lot of testing, and we are geared up for that. We have a complete suite of facilities which are really capable to handle the volumes of business. Second is we have very good geared up in automotive segments. Automotive is always a kind of industry which has done a lot of evolution since it has inception, right? So automotive industries is something which we always look forward, because now automotive industries is migrating to the electronics, even in the IC vehicles, and the EV is one of the
Yeah,
best.
especially with the EV
Yeah,
vehicles,
yeah.
the booming of EV vehicles. Anything specific to how the EV sector is growing? Because, with batteries, new components, we have new technologies in the batteries. I'm sure you guys are working with the batteries, and how long it lasts, and how the thermals are holding up, because that's something we see on an everyday basis. People say the batteries are not withstanding for our weathers, especially in
Yes.
India, compared to the West. So anything on that?
Yeah, see, now India has come forward a lot since its inception on the EV, and there are a lot of research and analysis happened to make the battery more compatible to the Indian conditions. And that even today, that research is going on. There are people who are really working on that. We are also contributing on some of the testings. Recently, we did a couple of testings for ERAI, EAS standards for altitude levels, because India is one terrain which is probably the best in the world, where we have Himalayas where we can see the snow, and we have southern tropical conditions, and some of the altitudes, like we have Western Ghats, we have India ranges, Himalayan ranges, and and EV has to sustain. So if you see the weather conditions in India, north to south itself is totally different. In south, there are equatorial differences, right? So the conditions per se is very critical, and a lot of research are going on. The EV, the best part is that the infrastructure is coming up very well. Even I think the government has given a very good vision that they want to take off everything from the diesel by 2030 or something, and EV. So people have given a lot more prioritization to empower the EV products. We can see a lot of EV vehicles running on here, and I assure that the technology is catching up, and we have definitely done a lot of. There are a lot of testings I also done for the EV vehicles, and it's going in a very good direction in India.
Okay. Okay.
Apart from the EVs or automotives and EVs, we also do a lot of testings for consumers and IT products, telecoms. Telecom nowadays is becoming a kind of mandatory. Now, earlier the internet was not that relevant, but today everything is going wireless, and the internet substations, base stations, everything are very compatible and growing market. So that's where one of the things where helped us to get into TEC ventures also, and reliability wise, yes. So the focus points always remains like this, and we always concentrate uh, uh, on the future industries basically. So a couple of days back or a month ago, probably the Central Railway Minister was inaugurating the Hyperloop, and I was in one of the networking meeting, and one person came to me all of a sudden and said that if I have to make a component for Hyperloop, will you be capable to make the testing facilities? So that's the kind of industry networks we are trying to build in, so that any technology which is coming to India, they should not feel that they are not testing is not there, or some component manufacturing. So that provisionized, that is getting provisionized.
I really hope you guys start testing for the Hyperloop, because we are excited for the project.
Yep.
I think Bangalore to Chennai, how many hours they are planning?
20-25 minutes.
Yeah, see, that's something we really want to do. Even with the new roads, I still feel the 25 minutes, I will take it any day. I can work in Bangalore and come to Chennai to my house every day.
Yes.
That will be something, revolutionary. So
probably in Bangalore, the getting into the Hyperloop in the traffic will be longer than getting into Chennai.
So people are going to come from Chennai to Bangalore to work, and then they're going to come back to Chennai. So that will be great. That's something, I'm looking forward. So yes, Jashan, thank you so much for coming to New Indian Express, and sharing us your insights of the industry. All the best for the Envitest future, and for you to take more projects, and show us what Envitest is capable of.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much, and I thank Indian Express for giving me this opportunity.